Well, I just got back from the Retro Game Con this year in Syracuse in 2024. As you can see, I am repping the merch. I went ahead and got this year's shirt. It's got the Retro Game Con guy with the Flood backpack from Mario Sunshine, so that's pretty cool. I bought way too many games from all of the vendors down there. I also won the Nintendo World Championship NES Edition tournament that the Elite Gaming put on down there. Came with a pretty significant prize package, and I got to play up on the big stage in front of a lot of other people, so that was really great. I got to meet some other retro YouTubers, including John Riggs and Pat the NES Punk, and I got to go to their panel, so we'll talk about that. It was super crowded. I thought it was crowded on Friday. I had no idea. If you were there, you know Saturday and Sunday were even more crowded. There were so many people there, and just had a great time overall. Lots of people out in their costumes and everything. They had all kinds of games set up from every kind of system you can imagine. They especially had a huge section this time with old computers, including Amigas and Commodore 64 and ones you've probably never heard of before, IBM compatibles. They had Doom and Quake and Oregon Trail and all those kinds of games on there, so that was pretty neat to see. They had a mech game from the Xbox. I can't think of the name of it right now. I'll probably edit in the name of it. My son really enjoyed that. They had a bunch of light gun games, including games with weird controllers. And my son had never played Duck Hunt before, so he was really enjoying playing that for the first time. They also had a bunch of other events and panels and stuff. The big draw this year was a lot of the voice actors from Baldur's Gate 3. Not a retro game, though, I might add. But I'll get around to it at some point, so I didn't wait in the lines for that, but tons of people came out for that. First, I'll talk about my haul. I spent too much money, and I think I got games for 7 different systems. I got a Atari 2600 game. I got some NES games, a Sega Genesis game, Super Nintendo, Nintendo DS, a PSP game. Is that it? Yeah, I think that's it. So I got some great beat-em-ups, Maximum Carnage and Death and Return of Superman. I got a few NES classics, including some Mega Mans, Mega Man 3 and 4. Really big fan of 4. I know not everyone loves 4, but it's okay to be wrong. And got Pitfall for the Atari, one of the only few Atari games that are really still worth playing in 2024. And a bunch of other good stuff as well. Lots of vendors there. I was surprised at how many of them had super rare games. If you're a collector, I'm not a collector. I'm not trying to get all the games, but a couple of vendors had the Flintstones. I think that was going for about $1,500. You could get all kinds of consoles. They had most of the consoles you could think of for about $100. Lots of rare games, your Pokemons, and all that kind of stuff. There was even some Fire Emblems in there going for a couple $100. So if you were looking for the rare stuff, they had plenty of that. If you were looking for the bulk stuff, there was plenty of that too. There must have been 20 different vendors selling games. So pretty good for that. If you're looking to buy retro games, definitely don't go to GameStop Retro. Those seem to be absolutely terrible. I went to one near my work, and they only had one retro game, and it was Jaws for the NES, which is not a horrible game, but one of the highlights for me was that I got to participate in the Nintendo World Championship NES Edition Open Tournament, and I've been playing the game since it originally came out. I'm really glad that I didn't actually get the physical edition. I only got the digital, because one of the prizes was the physical edition of the game. They also gave me a really cool trophy, a 3D printed award. Hopefully I've got it in the frame good there, but it is a 3D printed Game Boy cartridge. It is gold. The second place got a silver one, third place got a bronze colored one, and it says Retro GameCon Champion #1, so pretty proud of that. I also got some hotel accommodations and some VIP tickets to go back next year, so really cool event they had. If they're doing it next year, and you like to play these old retro games, you should probably check it out. They had other tournaments as well, including a Tetris tournament. There were several famous, I guess you could say, YouTube famous people there. There was quite a few panels. I got to meet John Riggs. He has an excellent channel. Just a cool guy. And I did pick up one of his games, or one of the games he publishes here, Choo Choo Mimic. So in addition to my other haul, I also got this, a brand new NES game, complete in box, still has the plastic wrap on it. Really looking forward to opening this up and seeing what it's like. I'll probably do a full review of this game here on the channel, so stay tuned for that if that's something you care about. Also had Mystic Ryan and Russ Lehman there as well. They had a 3-person panel on doing retro game content on YouTube, and that was a great experience. Earlier in the day, also got to see Pat the NES Punk. He was kind of showing off his new book, which is basically a review of every single Nintendo 64 game, as well as the console itself. That was a great time. So loved seeing those guys there. So if you want to meet any of those, personalities, going to these cons is a good way to do that. They had a bunch of indie stuff there as well, including a couple of indie games. One of the neat looking ones that I saw was called Advent of the Reaper, and it's a tactical RPG. They said it was spiritually in line with the Fire Emblem games. It's not out yet, but I'll put whatever I can find up on the screen here. Also saw a really cool arcade game called Jam Jam and Jelly, and they actually had an arcade cabinet there that you could try. Looks like a really fun arcade game. They did say it will be exclusively in arcades in Japan for a year, but then it will be able to come here to the US. So hopefully I'll remember that when it comes out, or maybe they'll have it at the convention next year. I'm definitely going, so maybe I'll be able to pick it up then. Looks like a really cool game. I will say one thing, if you're looking to go, what we tried to do was to eat a big breakfast so that we could skip eating there if we had to, and then go have, a big dinner later. Another good piece of advice is cash. Try to get cash. Cash is king. Of course, all the vendors, or most of the vendors, did accept cards, but with all of the signals flying around in there, sometimes their card readers, didn't always work. And sometimes you can negotiate a better price with cash than you can with cards. So a little bit of advice there. It was rainy on the last day on Sunday, but that did not stop it from feeling like it was the largest crowd of all. So overall, I had a blast. It was a great time. I got to play a lot of retro games. I got to buy some retro games. I got to enter a really neat tournament and win it. I got some cool merch, and definitely looking forward to going back again next year. So go ahead and subscribe and like the video if you want to see a full review of Choo Choo Mimic, the John Riggs game, or if you want to see a more detailed review of my haul where I talk more about all the games I picked up, or you just want to see any more retro gaming related content in the future. Hope you guys had a great weekend. I'll see you guys later. Bye for now.